acquaint you all with a little milieu and handful attainments of Sri Chaitanya's conscientious and indefatigable family. Years ago, when giving birth to a girl child was considered a burden and educating a girl child was absurd, our very own co-founder, Dr. Jhansi Lakshmi Bai, have not only lived through such challenges but also fought against them elegantly. Her two daughters, Miss Sushma and Miss Seema, are the epitome of their mother. To continue the legacy of Dr. B.S. Rao sir and Dr. Jhansi ma'am, their children played a huge role. Miss Sushma academically leading all the colleges and Miss Seema directing all the schools. Most of the schools are struggling with the online education and the teachers are facing a lot of criticism. Sri Chaitanya was not only swift enough to understand these crises but also overcame these challenges in a blink. Miss Seema goes candid about work-life balance, making the online education a great success in spite of many challenges. We have Master Durgesh and Miss Sanyukta from grades 4 and 5 to sound out with our director. So brace yourself, and without further delay, let's welcome our charismatic and captivating guests.
Good morning, madam.
Good morning,
It's
Andy.
a pleasure to meet you, ma'am. Thanks to being here, taking your time for Tamil Nadu group, Tamil Nadu schools. Here, I want to say one thing, madam. Under the leadership of management, within the span of 5 years, especially Tamil Nadu, we are reaching to 40,000 students, ma'am. Really, it's a proud moment, and especially in this pandemic situation, I can proudly and confidently say that what we are in the service towards the society, the parents or students, really extraordinary result is coming to extraordinary results, madam.
Obviously, we are very proud of Tamil Nadu's achievements, whether it be academics or strength or the feedback. So congratulations to the team and good luck going forward.
Thank you, ma'am. Considering your busy schedule, I would like to move for the interview with your permission, ma'am.
Yes, please.
Ma'am, can I know the reason why our founder, Dr. B.S. Rao Garu, switched his career from successful doctor to educationalist?
What we have to first understand is there are two founders for this. It's not just Dr. B.S. Rao, even my mother, Dr. Jhansi Lakshmi, is a co-founder. So let me talk about both of them. Both of them are successful doctors before they started Sri Chaitanya. But the background they came from, they did not come from a very well-off family. Especially for my mother, it must have been pretty hard because this was 55 years ago and women are not as encouraged as they are today. So they got through medical school and then eventually they moved to England and then to Iran to practice as doctors. And I was born there in Iran, while my sister and brother, they were back in India because of education. When they visited India to look for schools for all of us, they did not find any school that's dedicated for girls. So that was their inspiration. They left everything behind, everything they worked for until then, and they moved to India, and then they started the first residential junior college for girls in 1986 with a strength of 86 students. Now, what we have to understand here is, if somebody is given everything, if they have everything, it is easy to risk that and make a decision to change careers. But with my parents, whatever they achieved by then, it was all on their own, and they went through a lot of hardships. And despite of that, they made a bold and brave career choice, and I'm glad it paid off.
What was the greatest challenge when you took the administration from your dad?
I went to Sri Chaitanya as well. I graduated from Sri Chaitanya. And then I went to the US, went to college there, and then moved back and started working here. But when I moved back, everybody who was working at Sri Chaitanya, all the management, the principals, the teachers, everybody were the people who taught me when I went to school here. So coming back and working with them, while it's a very pleasant experience, they still treated me like a child. So I had to work doubly hard to prove myself and to give them the confidence that I fit into this role. So that was the main challenge I faced. And then luckily my parents are very supportive and they made sure that I fit in right away.
Ma'am, what is the best compliment you have ever received?
I would say the best compliment is that my mom used to tell me growing up that I should become a lawyer, that I suit best for that role because I'm very logical and I argue very well, in an intellectual sense as well. So I think that's the best compliment I've ever received.
Ma'am, could you please mention the strategies you follow towards work and life balance?
Well, this is something I learned from my parents because they were not able to balance very well. In the sense that they were constantly struggling to prove themselves because it's a new line of work, new environment for them since they moved back from Iran. And then also they invested everything they had into work and they could not risk anything else. So their life constantly revolved around work. My mom and dad used to wake up at 4:30 in the morning and their day ended at 11:30 in the night. They did not have any friends or social life or any other interests that they took care of. But now I think looking back, they regret having done that. They now wish that they took some time out for themselves and the family. So I learned from that and I make sure that I give kids enough time. I have two daughters, a 7-year-old and a 5-year-old. So I make sure that I give enough time for them and I make sure I take them around, take them out and spend time with them. So I think that's the best anybody can do.
Assistance with digital platforms like Rango app is efficient, ma'am. Comment on the focus towards the response.
So we were lucky to have introduced the digital platform several years before it became a necessity due to COVID. We started this about 5 years ago, and every year it was a learning process for that. And we keep making changes based on the feedback, based on how the students are reacting. But I'm proud to say that this year will be the best year yet because we've made several changes to it, and we also redesigned the curriculum to suit the current digital necessities. And even going forward, I don't know if you heard of it, but we've launched Infinity Learn. It's a new platform which will go hand in hand with Ranguru as well. And we've already hired about 100 senior most tech team for Infinity Learn. And I can guarantee you that going forward, it'll be a revolutionary product.
Oh, so we are on the right track, ma'am. Specify your favorite stress buster, ma'am.
I'm a very social person, so I meet my friends like once a week or once in 2 weeks. And also, I'm into pets. So I have two dogs. So my stress busters are mainly spending time with kids and then having pets. And once in a while, I read as well. And I love meeting my friends.
When I successfully complete my schooling in Sri Chaitanya Techno School, how competitive will I be in the future?
I cannot answer that question about how competitive you will be in future, but what I can tell is that the main motto behind Sri Chaitanya Techno School is to prepare the child for anything going forward in future. Just like a parent does, what we believe is all we can do is equip you with everything, with whatever knowledge you need, with whatever skills you need. And while it is totally up to you as to how you will apply going forward in your life. But I can say that you will be well equipped by the time you graduate from Sri Chaitanya.
Ma'am, from your experience, have you found out any difference between 90s and 2K kids?
There is a lot of difference, both positive and negative. The positive is that they're very quick to learn and I feel that they're much smarter now much more intelligent than what kids were back when I was in school, which is great. And they're also very competitive. But on the flip side, what I do feel that is students back from the 90s are a lot more respectful towards the teachers and towards the school. And they're a lot more appreciative also about what the teachers do for them. And hopefully, with all our programs that we do, awareness programs that we do in our campuses, we will be able to make sure that our students respect the teachers the same way as the 90s kids did.
I always get impressed with the interviews of Mr. Ratan Tata, Mr. Raghuram Rajan, and Ms. Kamala Harris. What are all the qualities that students have inculcated in the school days to become a successful person in the future?
Well, this all ties back to the previous questions, the couple of questions we've been talking about. But however, I believe that successful people, each person is different. Success does not mean respect. So not every successful person is respected. So where will the respect come from? If that successful person is inspiring, that's when he or she will be remembered for a while. Otherwise, the success will be forgotten. The success will be of use to that person, but not to anybody else. The couple of examples you mentioned, let's talk about the Miss Kamala Harris. She is one of the first, if I remember right, first or second woman of African heritage to be in that position, and also first woman from Indian heritage to be in that position. So what we have to think about here is that to be a woman itself in a very competitive environment is hard. And then she's coming from a minority in that region. And yet she stood for herself and she was very successful. We have to understand that it must have taken a lot of self-discipline, will, and perseverance. That's one thing, those are the things we have to learn from her. And if we talk about Mr. Ratan Tata, he had a very disturbing childhood. He did not have a happy childhood. And he started working in the family business when he's as young as 23 or 24. And even then, when we look around ourselves, people getting into family businesses, they took off with a senior role. But this gentleman, he started working in his factory, in the father's factory, along with other blue-collar workers doing manual labor. So it's only about 8 to 10 years later that he took up a senior management level position. Until then, he was working with blue-collar workers, and in that process, he learned a lot, which in turn he applied to the business going forward. And also, he is a philanthropist. Out of the company, he only owns 10%. Sorry, not 10%, 1%. The rest of the company is owned by majorly charitable trusts. So he's also a very kind person and a giving back kind of person. Also, success changes different people differently. It's very few people that remain the same or even change for the better. But most of the people, they get arrogant and they lose themselves in that process. Like, I'll give you an example. For example, in your class or in your school, they can be the most brightest student. The student is very bright, doing very well in school, and then could be head boy or head girl of school. But if he or she is a bully, or if the attitude is bad, that student will be the most hated student in school. Do you agree or not? Let's apply the same thing to real life, to life in general. So even though you're successful, unless you're kind, unless you're not a bully, unless you help others, unless you guide others, then success means nothing and it will not be remembered. So I think being kind is a way to develop both professionally and personally.
Apart from producing IITs and medical students, Sri Chaitanya Techno School facilitates students to become successful in all professions.
Yes, definitely, because we here believe that until now, either you have to join MPC or BIPC is the trend. And either a medical school or engineering school is a trend, and other professions are not very encouraged. But we believe that you can be successful in any field. So if we look around, people who are successful, they don't necessarily fit into either medical or engineering category. They are from several different backgrounds. And we are trying to cater to that here as well by forming a base where you can do anything going forward and be successful. And as part of that, we have a civils program, which does not focus on either exclusively either on biology or mathematics. There are other areas that we focus on, equipping students to take any other exam out there, whether it be banking sector or any sector. And also in primary level, we've introduced Mavericks program in order to equip the student with the same, the ability to be successful, not just subject knowledge.
Ma'am, would you describe yourself as a risk taker? Can you please enumerate some of the risks you have taken as a director and the results?
I would say that I am both a risk taker and a safe player, so it depends on what we are talking about. As far as the student's career is concerned, I'm not a risk taker. I want to make sure that we are doing the best we can for the student, knowing what we are doing, because ultimately it's our responsibility to make sure that the student is successful, and we cannot gamble with a student's life or career. But as far as work is concerned, yes, not just me, Sri Chaitanya itself is known for risk taking. Otherwise, we wouldn't have expanded at this pace. And luckily, the risk has paid off, and we are the most successful when you look around.
Is our Indian system of education still struggling to develop a curriculum for our kids to compete internationally?
I think it depends on the way you look at it, because a lot of CEOs for multinational companies are Indians, and a lot of them had exposure to both Indian education system and foreign education system. Indians are one of the most successful people in the world. It would not have happened if our education system is substandard. But however, I do agree that we have to find a balance between knowledge and implementation. If we make sure that whatever we've learned is implemented in a practical manner, we'll be all the more successful. So hopefully that's the change that will happen going forward.
You're pretty successful, developing India's #1 school. Do you have any plan to open a college university with international standards like Harvard, MIT, and Oxford in India?
So we definitely have that in mind. We were thinking about it actually a few years ago, but that never happened because of the COVID situation. But a few years down the line, we definitely want to go for a deemed university, and hopefully that dream will come true.
Thank you, ma'am. Ma'am, how to handle sibling rivalry?
Sibling rivalry, that's a good question because my sister and I hated each other growing up. We are 6 years apart, so we always used to fight. And then when she went away for college after her 12th grade is when we started getting together. We became inseparable, and that's when the relationship started building. And right now we're always there for each other, and we are each other's priority. So what we have to remember is after parents, our siblings are the ones that will wish the best for us. While we may have good friends, while we may have well-wishers, it cannot beat the blood relation. So as long as we remember that, and as long as we question ourselves when there's an issue, before questioning the other person, if you can question yourself, I think that'll take care of most of the issues. But overall, you have to remember that your parents and your siblings are your well-wishers, and nobody else will match.
Thank you, ma'am. Ma'am, can we have a quick rapid fire round?
Sure, please do.
Your hidden talent.
I don't know. I don't think I have any. But I'm told that I'm a quick thinker and I come up with solutions for a lot of problems. I don't know if that's a talent, but I would like to think so.
Which is better, a certificate or experience?
I think certificate and experience should go hand in hand. If you have a certificate, you definitely have to put that to good use and gain experience. And also, experience with a certification background is better, is what I think.
Virtual schooling or physical schooling?
I would say physical school with virtual support. Virtual school can never beat physical school. Physical school is always important because you directly get to interact with your friends and teachers, and you learn quicker with physical school also. But going forward, since we all now have experience with virtual schooling, what I would recommend is physical school with virtual school support post regular school hours.
Traditional way of learning, unconventional way of learning.
Traditional way of learning with a conventional approach is what I would believe in.
Reading or traveling.
I like both reading and traveling, and I have read a lot before, and now if I have to pick something, it has to be traveling because I believe that you learn a lot from travel experiences as well.
Power or knowledge.
So I believe knowledge is power, as the proverb says. So let's go with that.
Unforgettable gift from your parents.
So there's a lot of them that they've given me so far. There are a lot of gifts over years. I used to be very good with getting things done from them also. I'm a very spoiled child. And I believe that whatever I am today is because of them. But if I have to pick one special thing, I can only think of the first present my dad has given me. He went and picked it out on his own and he gave me that. It's a piece of jewelry. And as a girl, I'm closer to my dad than to my mom. So I would say that's the most special one.
And what is the one thing you still have from your childhood?
I have a lot of objects saved from my childhood, but the most special to me is my piggy bank because I used to save money and put it in my piggy bank. And even though I never spent it, I saved it. I still have it, all the old coins, old notes and everything. And I would say that's my most special object.
And one childhood incident that you had with your sister, which is still cherishing in your memories.
I told you earlier that we never got along growing up until she went away for college post 12th grade. And after that, our relationship totally changed and we are inseparable. But growing up, since I was born in Iran and my sister was in India, I didn't see her for the first 2 years of my life. The first time I met her was when I was 2 years old. She came to Iran for her summer vacation. And I was told that I was a very jealous child growing up. So I would not let her come close to my parents. I used to get jealous and I used to literally scratch her. And by the time she left Iran, she was all scratched up. And she tells me this over and over again whenever she remembers it. So I would say that's one of the memories that I can't forget and I wish I could change.
Thank you for the interview amidst your busy schedule, ma'am. You have answered patiently and it gave us clear insight into the key areas. I sincerely thank our principal ma'am and the teachers who have given me this wonderful opportunity.
Thank you, everybody. Thank you, dear students, for the interview. I'm surprised at how confident you sounded, and taking this for attitude and going forward, I'm pretty sure you'll be very successful. Good luck, and again, thank you for the interview.
Happy birthday, Dr. B.S. Rao.
Happy birthday, Daddy. We love you.
పుట్టినరోజు శుభాకాంక్షలు నిరంతరం హ్యాపీగా ఉండాలని కోరుకుంటున్నాను.
హ్యాపీ బర్త్డే మావయ్య.
Happy birthday, Tata. We love you.
My dear beloved chairman Dr. B.S. Rao sir, you are the legend in the education system. We wish you many more happy returns of the day.
I wish the benedictions of Almighty is always showered upon on the occasion of birthday of our beloved chairman Dr. B.S. Rao.
On this special day, on behalf of Amir Pilto, wish you great health and a great life filled with prosperity and true happiness. Happy birthday, sir.
Wish you a very happy, long, peaceful and healthy life ahead. Happy birthday again, sir.
May this day bring countless happiness and endless joy with peace and serenity. Happy birthday, sir.
Doctor sir, it's a special day for all of us. It's a wonderful birthday to you, sir.
Sir, on behalf of my whole team from Kolkata Zone, we wish you a very, very, very happy birthday.
Many more happy returns of the day, sir. May God bless you abundantly with the showers of blessing.
డాక్టర్ బిఎస్ రావు గారికి మా హృదయపూర్వక జన్మదిన శుభాకాంక్షలు.
Wishing our Honorable Chairman, Dr. B.S. Rao sir, many happy returns of the day. And we are all blessed to be a part of his family. Thank you, sir. Thanks for your opportunity you have given to us.
Wish a very happy birthday to our Honorable Chairman, sir.
Wish you many more happy returns of the day to our beloved chairman, Dr. B.S. Rao garu.
జన్మదిన శుభాకాంక్షలు డాక్టర్ గారు.
డాక్టర్ బిఎస్ రావు గారి జన్మదిన శుభాకాంక్షలు తెలియజేసుకుంటున్నాం.
Wishing you many happy returns of the day and praying God to give you a good health and long life to you, sir.
A special person deserves an equally special day. Happy birthday to you.
Many more happy returns of the day, Chairman sir, from Nellore team.
Wish you a happy birthday to our beloved chairman, Dr. B.S. Rao garu.
73 వసంతాలు పూర్తి చేసుకున్న మా డాక్టర్ గారు 100 వసంతాలు పూర్తి చేసుకోవాలని కోరుకుంటూ మీ వైఎన్ఎస్.
Wishing our beloved chairman sir a very happy birthday on behalf of staff, students and parents of Tamil Nadu zone.
I wish you a very happy birthday to you, sir.
Honorable Chairman sir, a very happy returns of the day.
విద్యార్థుల జీవితాలలో విద్యా వెలుగులు నింపినటువంటి విద్యా ప్రదాత మా విజనరీ డైరెక్టర్ డాక్టర్ బిఎస్ రావు గారికి జన్మదిన శుభాకాంక్షలు.
Happy birthday to your respected chairman sir, Dr. B.S. Rao garu. You are such a great leader and it's always been a great pleasure working with you. May God bless you with great health and long life. Thank you for everything, sir.